morning, evening, afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark.
And I'm Zoe.
And we are the Bored Adventurers. We're here at a new location. We're here at Zoe's room studio.
Yeah, this is
we're trying out some new camera and sound stuff, and we're trying to see how this works out. So a couple of videos are going to get shot here today. What we're going to do for you today is we're going to talk about 5 games we're looking forward to playing from our own collections in 2024.
Yep.
We already did one back in May, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had each picked 5 games. Of those, I want to say we've only played one of them from each of our lists. Yeah,
one or two.
You had played Thunder Road and Mr. Jack.
Mr. Jack, yeah.
And then I had only played Grand Austria Hotel from mine.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And we just think it's like a cool thing to do, especially after we do our top 10s that we played the previous year, to kind of signify what games we have in our collection that we're excited about, that we want to play, that we might be doing videos for in the future. It's just something to get excited for the new year in terms of our gaming.
Right. So today we're going to give you some 5 games from our collections that we want to, play in this year. Mm-hmm. And I think one of our goals should really be, along with last May's list, is we should try to play at least half the games on these lists.
Yeah. The goal is to
get them
play
off.
more of them. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start off. I don't know if you want me to start off on that one.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off with my number 5. My number 5 is a game from CMON that we just got recently fulfilled from... No, I bought it off of Game Nerds. This is Massive Darkness 2.
Okay. Yeah.
This is a what I've seen and I've heard as like a dice chucking kind of like campaign type of game. Mm-hmm. I don't know much about it, but I've seen the hype behind it on some of the more popular channels out there.
Yeah.
And it's one of those games that I think, because I like Frosthaven so much, because I like the idea of Spirit Island, I think this is something that I would enjoy, and I think our group would enjoy too.
100%. Yeah, that would be a fun campaign.
Yeah, so that's my number 5, Massive Darkness 2.
Cool. So number 5 on my list is Septima. This is by Mind Clash Games. It's one of their lighter games, but from what I understand, it's still pretty darn heavy.
Okay.
But it's a cool theme. It's a witch theme. It's a very beautiful looking game. And I've never played a Mind Clash game before, although I have 2 of them. But definitely want to get this to the table and see what this looks like and see if I'm pretty much going to be a fan of their games.
Right. Wasn't this a re-implementation of another game?
I actually have no idea.
Yeah, I thought there was like another popular game that kind of like this Septima had spawned off of. But maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to check around for that.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. But definitely want to get to the table sometime this year.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, cool. Septima sounds like a really cool game.
Yeah.
I thought actually I've confused it with Witchcraft.
Oh God, yeah.
But now that I think about it, I'm like, it's not the same game. I think I remember, if I remember correctly, it's you are trying to avoid getting burned at the stake.
I think that's...
Is that the one? I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
We'll have to check that out. All right.
Cool.
Nice. So my number 4 is actually a Kickstarter that has not been fulfilled yet, but it's supposed to fulfill this year. And this is for a game called Planet Unknown. Planet Unknown is what I actually know something for this one. It's a polyomino game where you have this rotating disc. And each person is going to have this little piece of arrow and their own little player board that they can put a polyomino onto.
Yeah.
You're going to rotate this disc, what I guess some people refer to it as like a lazy Susan.
Yeah.
And you're going to stop it at one certain location. From that, you can take one of the 2 polyominoes on that piece of the board or on that piece of the disc. Everyone else has to take from that same part of their own disc, so they're kind of being forced to play it.
Yeah.
And then you're playing it onto your player board that'll then raise you on certain tracks. It's kind of like one of those like little hit of endorphins every time you played one of these polyominoes. But it seems like something that, again, our group is going to enjoy. I am excited to try it out. That is my number 4, Planet Unknown.
Nice. I know when that game came out, it had a lot of accolades.
I think so too. And it feels like it kind of started to taper off a little bit.
True.
But I think this is the second printing that I had kickstarted.
Yeah.
Then I'm just excited to get this to the table.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So number 4 on my list is an Awakened Realms game. And it's a big adventure game. It's ISS Vanguard.
Oh, okay.
This one is like one of the first games I ever backed. Way back when this GameFound game first went on crowdfunding. And it's a huge exploration game. You and your crew are going to different planets and discovering things, logging them, and meeting new things and fighting creatures. It just looks super, super cool. I don't know many other games that are trying to do what ISS Vanguard does. And I'm very much looking forward to getting this on the table. I don't know how often because it seemed like a lot of moving pieces.
Right.
And pretty heavy, but it's definitely one I'm very curious about.
Yeah.
So definitely wanted to make sure this was represented on my list.
Yeah, I've heard ISS Vanguard has like this almost book of like things that you can keep storing in there.
Yeah, when you find things, you put it in like this log book, essentially. To signify like a logbook when you're actually traversing and whatnot.
That seems
it's cool.
massive if it gives you like one, like I think of like Pokemon cards and you're sliding.
That's what it feels like,
And I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a massive game.
It is gonna be a massive game, but definitely want to look forward to playing.
Yeah, I think really like just to say early in our list is that I want to say we've picked larger games just because we started to play a lot of these campaign larger games recently.
Yeah.
And I think that's why these are getting high up right now on our list.
That's a good point. We're typically not super heavy gamers, although we dabble in heavy games once in a while, but as of late we've been playing heavier games and really
story-based games too. Some of those have like been pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So my number 3 is a large campaign story-based game.
Okay.
This is quite possibly one of the largest game storylines that are out there right now. This is Frosthaven. So,
nice,
Frosthaven by Isaac Childress. I don't even know how to start describing it, but I'm about 90% of the way through Gloomhaven. I'm doing a solo run through Gloomhaven. I started this during the pandemic, and I'm nearly complete with it. With that being said, I have Jaws of the Lion that I need to start doing, and then I eventually want to get to Frosthaven.
Yeah.
I've heard Frosthaven, to some extent, it cleans up some of the mechanics of Gloomhaven. I don't know much because I wanted to try to keep myself in the dark for it. Because I wanted to be surprised. But if it's going to be anything like Gloomhaven, I'm going to be super excited because Gloomhaven is just a great campaign game.
Yeah, Gloomhaven is pretty good.
Yeah.
And Frosthaven just looks cool.
Yeah, and like they've added what I've heard very like lightly is that they've added almost like some sort of city building to Frosthaven. So you add like you can add buildings to your town that do different things, which again I don't know much about, but I'm excited to dive in and discover what Frosthaven has.
Nice.
Yep.
Good stuff.
That's my number 3, Frosthaven.
Cool. So number 3 on my list is very representative of what we're playing right now. This is Above and Below.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so right now we are currently going through the campaign of Sleeping Gods, and it's my first Red Raven game. And I own Above and Below, and I got so into Sleeping Gods that I backed Creature Caravan, and I'm looking into Near and Far as well. So I'm really right now diving into Red Raven games and Ryan Lockett and his designs.
Right.
So just really wanted to explore more of what he has to offer. I don't know too much about Above and Below other than it has its fans. Not as popular as Near and Far, but definitely is up there.
Yeah.
So definitely want to check out more of his games and see what he has to offer, especially given the fact that Sleeping Gods has really taken me in terms of its design and and the choices that it's made.
Yeah. Like I played Above and Below and I thought it was an okay game. Like, you could possibly run into the similar storyline, but I think I agree with you. When we were playing Sleeping Gods, it was just so captivating, the storyline for it.
Yeah,
that made me more excited for a lot of these other bigger like story driven games.
100%. Yeah, definitely made us more interested. That's why ISS Vanguard kind of came up on the list as a story-based game that's a little bit heavier, but definitely the Sleeping Gods effect. Want to try more games of that ilk.
We could definitely teach you. Like we have some people in our group that could do that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. All right, my number 2 is I think it's the lightest game on my list. It's of the 5 right now. It's the lightest game, and it's a Reiner Knizia game.
Oh.
This game got a second reprint more recently. It's an older game that got reprinted, and I had backed the Kickstarter. It came in last year, but I just never got around to playing it. And it seems like a simple game to play. That game is Ra.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ra is a... I don't even know. I read the rulebook, but I still didn't understand it. I feel like I needed to put it on the board to play. But I believe you're drawing tiles out of a bag and you're placing them onto the board. And you can either choose to stop drawing and then just do an auction off of that, or you'll draw the raw tile, which will then create an auction. That's my understanding of it. Again, I haven't played anything yet for it. But the beauty of it comes in that you have 3 different discs that you can use that will let you bid one time for whatever's out there.
Okay.
And you're trying to outbid it. Whenever you bid and you win it, you actually then take whatever disc was used last time and you replace it with the disc that you used to win.
Oh, okay.
And you flip it over. And you'll keep playing until everyone has either bid all their tiles, or I think like Raw has been played a certain number of times.
Gotcha.
I think there's every time the Raw is drawn, you go up a track.
Okay.
This is all again preliminary. All based off what I read in the rulebook, but once we play, we'll definitely have a better idea of how to play it. But I'm excited to play this game because it seems like the hype of Raw is still very high from the past year.
Yeah, and the reprint looks really nice.
It does. Yeah, that bag, that cloth bag is legit. Tiles, again, like they feel like almost like fabric on those cardboard pieces. So
nice.
that is my number 2 Raw.
Good stuff. So my number 2 is a game. It's an older game. And I don't own a lot of older games, given the fact that I just started really into board gaming hobby probably about like 3 years ago. But it's an older game that's kind of always kind of captivated me a little bit whenever I hear people talk about it. So one that I got recently, want to get it to the table, it is Suburbia.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you were hyped for Suburbia.
I am so hyped for it. I don't know what it is. I can't even explain it. It just looks very combo-y. It looks like there's a lot of strategy and also tactical gaming involved as well.
Yeah.
It just looks up my alley.
Yeah, like I don't know much about it, but it's like a city building game, right?
It's a city building,
but like
kind of tile
effects come, and they do different effects every time you place them next to another building, right?
Yeah,
like
when you put out tiles, and then it's the order in which you have the tiles out and what it's next to kind of triggers some abilities. And again, I haven't played it yet, so I could be wrong in terms of my description of it, but that's kind of what it is. It seems very combo-y. Yeah, that really kind of got me.
Okay, that kind of like maybe gives me a little bit of Earth vibes, like because it's like adjacency.
True. Yeah.
Bonuses.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot of adjacency in terms of where you build your tiles out.
Yeah.
How it combos. Yeah. But
I'm definitely willing to try that.
Nice. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's my number 2, Suburbia.
Yeah. Before I get to my number 1, I'm gonna have a couple honorable mentions just really quickly. One, I have 2. So one of them is going to be Oathsworn, another campaign-based game. It's gotten a lot of hype. I feel like we're over that crest in terms of where the hype is and starting to die down a little bit. But I'm still excited to get this down. I had backed the previous Kickstarter, so I'm ready to get into that. The other one is a game that he actually introduced me to because he plays it on the app, and that's Raiders of the North Sea. We have the game. I just haven't gotten around to opening the rule book, setting it on the board, and actually physically playing it. But it seems like a very simple like
worker placement
right?
game. Yeah, it's a simple worker placement game, honestly. Out of all the Garfield games we've played, that's probably the simplest.
Yeah, and like I think the general idea is that you're trying to like pick up resources so that you can go on raids across the lake. Yeah. And then you do things over there, and then it gives you victory points on the way back or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, that's my those are my 2 honorable mentions.
Nice.
Yeah.
So in terms of my honorable mentions, I have a good amount, I think.
Oh yeah.
So my first honorable mention is Creature Caravan, which I mentioned before. That is another Ryan Lochte game.
Is that? That's Red Raven?
That's Red Raven game. That was on GameFound recently. The next one is Everdell. This game you own. I recently played Everdell, the app version of Everdell, and I was very surprised by how much I enjoy it. It's definitely a worker placement game that has a bunch of mechanics that I typically enjoy. So that was pretty good. Next one is Raptor. It's a 2-player game
Raptor.
by I can't remember the designer right now, but it's a designer I really enjoy.
It's not a Catala.
It's a Catala game. Yes, Bruno Catala. It's designed by Bruno Catala. It's a 2-player game. It's really up my alley, so really want to check that one out.
Okay.
And the last, I got 2 more games. So Voidfall, another big Mind Clash game.
You do have your big Mind Clash.
I really do, and I've never played a Mind Clash game. And I have 2 of them, and I've never played I've never played a 4X game before.
Yeah, you can see the box right there.
Yeah, the box is next to me.
Yeah, I think
it's huge. It's humongous. But yeah, I definitely want to check that out. Never played a 4X game, so I want to get that on the table. And the last game that I want to play is Endless Winter. I think I had this on my list last time.
I think you did too. I think that was your number 1.
Yeah, but I love Lost Ruins of Arnak and Dune Imperium, and this gets compared to those 2 games pretty often. Mm-hmm. So definitely want to get that to the table. But my number 1 game that on my playlist, it completed its Kickstarter, I believe, last year. So hoping that it delivers this year. This is a big app-driven game. This is The Dark Quarter.
Okay. You were really hyped for this one.
The theme alone is amazing. This kind of Louisiana detective with supernatural elements in there, mixed in with Lucky Duck games, app-driven gameplay.
Yep.
100% for me.
All in. Yep.
All in. Mm-hmm. It's like a Louisiana noir style game, which is so cool.
Yes, it was like set in like New Orleans or something like that.
Yeah.
Not sure, but yeah, like I think when I saw Kickstarter, I was like, this is pretty good. I have Destinies, and Destinies is in itself a great game.
Yeah.
If they lean into that kind of slightly horror type of thing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like that's great.
Yeah, so definitely want to get to the table. Hoping it delivers this year, because I backed Divinus as well.
Yeah.
By Lucky Ducks, and that hasn't delivered yet either.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that if there's any game that kind of grabs me in terms of just theme and mechanics, it's The Dark Quarter. So.
Oh nice.
Yeah, it's definitely up there for me.
Nice.
But cool. Those are top 5 games.
I didn't do my number 1.
Oh, you did not do.
I didn't do my number 1 yet.
My bad.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, sorry. I skipped way ahead, and I was like, I didn't realize you had said it. My number 1 game is a game that I do not own. You own it.
Oh, wow.
It has not been a crossover yet.
Huh.
Do you know which game we're talking about?
That I own.
You own.
Is it Kanban?
It is not Kanban.
Darwin's Journey?
It is Darwin's Journey.
Oh, wow.
Is my number 1 game.
That is surprising.
This is purely based on the fact that Simone Luciani designed my favorite game from 2023. He's the same designer as Grand Austria Hotel, and I've heard so much hype for Darwin's Journey. It's been on decent amount of top 10s of 2023, and just based off of that, this seemed like a game that I would want to go in on. If I saw like Nucleum was available on our shelf to play, I would definitely would.
He designed Nucleum as well.
Apparently, he did too. These are like dual
designs this
designer,
year?
Yeah. Right. But I'm excited to get Darwin's Journey to the table, just solely off the fact that it's the same designer. I think I want to say like what I've heard from other reviewers is that this is like a really great game. Some people had put it as their number 1, so I'm excited to get it to the table too.
It's on my honorable mentions now. I didn't even know it was the designer of Grand Austria.
Yeah.
And Nucleum is going on the list as well.
Yeah. I started looking through Simone Luciani's like almost like playlists.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta look into some of these.
Nice.
He makes some good games.
Well, Grand Austria is a great game that we played this year.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah.
So I'm excited to get some Darwin's Journey up on that table too.
Good stuff. And I have the collector's edition version of it, so it comes with some of the expansions.
Oh, does it? Oh, yeah. Great.
Cool, because I backed this on Kickstarter.
Yes. I was a little unsure about what the game would be about, but then after seeing the hype for it, I started to get myself hyped for it too.
Nice, good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, those are the top 5 games on our playlist for 2024. Let us know down below what games that you plan on playing this year, what you're excited about. Love to have some conversation with you guys down below. And see you on the next adventure.
That's it.